Aaron.
Hi, Grandma. How's it going?
Doing pretty good.
Good. Can't figure out why my GoPro keeps turning off, but it's okay. We're just going to let it sit and do its thing.
Okay.
No.
You don't have to have my picture on all the time.
No, I don't have to, but I want to.
Oh.
At least for now.
I don't know if I should. I'm not going to put my teeth in for my doctor. It doesn't make any. She knows what I look like.
Yeah. You don't need. She's not going to give you any candy or anything good.
No, that's for sure. Oh, I forgot about those suckers. You should eat one of those suckers. They're so good. And you can suck on them all, half of the day.
The See's candy ones?
So you get saliva in your mouth.
It's true. You're talking about those See's candy ones?
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't really don't really care for those too much.
You don't?
I don't like the chocolate. Well, the butterscotch one's pretty good.
Yes.
That one is pretty good.
That's the one I had. Was a butterscotch. Tasted good.
No, I like more like gummy candies. I like the gummy candies and the sour candies.
Oh, you do?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I don't like the sour candies too well.
But I like the gummies and the chewy stuff.
Oh, well, I suck on those too.
Oh yeah, get all the sugar off.
Mm-hmm.
It's good stuff.
Yes. Do they still have their horses over there?
I want to say yes. I don't really know. I haven't seen those horses in a long time.
Maybe they're out to pasture.
Took them to see their friend old Elmer.
Who's Elmer?
Elmer's Glue.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Take them to the glue factory.
Is their house that flat thing over there?
No, that's just a stable. Oh. Their house is on the other side of that little barn.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. It's a good-sized house, too.
So they got a pretty big yard, too, huh?
They do. They have quite a big... If they've got horses, they got a big backyard.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that Dad was talking to Uncle Rick. I'm sure that a lot of Minnesota families very concerned for you.
Oh, yes. Everybody's praying for me. But the one that I'm most concerned about is Kathy. Kathy and Jim.
She's going through a lot with Jim.
Every time I've been there, and I've sat down with Jim, and we talk, and he answers me, and he tells me different things, and it's so hard for me to believe the way he's been acting with Kathy, especially when he didn't know what relationship they were, and that hurt Kathy's feelings.
Yeah.
And I don't blame her for hurting,
None of us blame her.
To see your husband go from big trumpet player
and guitar player.
Yeah. Into almost, like you say, I hate to say it, but into nothing.
Yeah, it's been heartbreaking for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Jim is a very, very good person and a sweet guy.
But see, the thing is, we don't live with him, so we don't really know all that Kathy does go through. But I can just imagine. I feel sorry. She's just so sweet.
And Kathy's the
sweetest. I'm not saying she's my favorite, but she writes to me all the time. She sends me get well cards,
Mm-hmm. She lets you know that she's always thinking of you.
That's right. And she says that too. And when I write to her, I always say Kathy and Jim. And sometimes when she writes to me, she just writes Kathy. But I want her to know that I still think of Jim.
I do too.
Mm-hmm. sad. And I know she's trying not to put them away, but she's been going to, I bet you, about 5 different places, but she hasn't picked one yet because she's hoping she doesn't have to really pick one.
None of us want her to be able to have to pick one either.
Yeah,
But
she's kind
it
of.
sounds like his dementia's just getting worse and worse. And
Mm-hmm.
it's very heartbreaking to hear about.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, let's talk to something wonderful. Let's see. My pastor hasn't come up here yet, but of course I haven't been here about a week, right?
Yeah, it's been about, what, did you get out on Friday?
I don't know what day it is.
That's right. Today is Wednesday. So you've been here, you got out on Friday. So Friday, Saturday, Saturday, Sunday, Sunday, Monday, Monday, Tuesday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You've been here 5 days.
Oh, yeah, I guess so. If you say so.
Almost a week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, see, you know, he goes to another church after he's through with ours, and I don't like that because I feel like he's forsaking me. Not only me, but the whole congregation.
He's not forsaking you guys.
I know he isn't.
He's trying to bring in other flock.
I know.
He's preaching to everybody he can. Yeah. That's his job.
And I asked him if he said it might be until June. I says, how much longer do you have to go to the other church? And he says, well, probably June, because the bishop has to get another pastor to go to that other place.
Yeah, he's got to fill in because the people in that church, they need a pastor too.
Of course, and I understand all that, but don't take ours.
You don't want to share yours.
No, I want him all to us.
Absolutely.
I know the first pastor that was there when I joined. His name was George. And I don't know if I told you, he's a big old husky man. And he'd get down on his knees to talk to me because he was so tall. But that was good. I mean, I'd laugh at that.
Yeah, especially when he's, from head to knees, he's 4'10.5". And don't you forget that half.
That's right. Because I had a friend, a gal friend, that moved in with me. I had 3 different men, and they were all much better than that one of hers, because she was the messiest thing.
When was this? Was this in Minnesota or in Calexico?
No, in Calexico, because I belonged to the Eagles, and so did she. But she had a house, and she sold it, and in the interim time, she had to have a place to live.
Oh, okay.
And so she asked if she could rent a house from me, and I said sure, because at that time I didn't have anyone. And she was a mess. She brought a sewing machine, and she had sewing stuff all over her room, and I couldn't hardly stand it. I was sorry I let her move in. But then there was this man that I knew, and I said, why don't you go for him? And so I told, what was his name? I'll say Joe. I told Joe, why don't you take my roommate out? And they start going out, and going through the doctor. I'm okay.
Okay.
I'm going to get it. And they finally went to Las Vegas without telling me, and they got married.
They eloped.
And so and she didn't leave me any note or anything, not until they came back did she tell me they got married. So then she moved out, and they bought a bar.
They bought a bar, not a house.
In Hopeville.
Ooh, which bar is that?
Hopeville is right close by
Oh, I know
Calexico.
where Holtville is. Do you know which bar? Or is it still there?
No, I have no idea.
No, you never went to visit? Never went to wet your whistle?
Nope. And so, she moved out then. And
You got your house back, so you can clean it.
no, she cleaned it. She cleaned out everything. And one time, I had a whole pound of hamburger that I had out that I was going to make a meatball. Oh, excuse me. And I went to get it in the refrigerator, and it was gone. So her name was Connie. And I said, Connie, what happened to that hamburger? She says, I ate it. I said, you did? I was going to make a meatloaf. And I didn't know that. So she ate the whole darn thing. She said, I'll go buy you some more. I said, oh, forget it. By that time, I was kind of keto.
Yeah. You said, I don't want meatloaf anymore.
That's right. So then I don't remember how long they were married, but they finally got a divorce because all he wanted to do was sit at the bar and drink and visit with the customers. And she didn't like that. And so they got a divorce. And she stayed in Hopeville, but I think they sold the bar then. And she was a school teacher.
Yeah.
So she went back to teaching school. And I was in Calexico, and she was in Hopeville. And then that's when I moved. And she was still in Hopeville. But you know what? We still communicate at Christmas time, and she knows when it's my birthday, and she sends me a birthday card. So.
That's wonderful.
After all these years. But I did not get a Christmas card from her this year, so I don't know what happened.
Uh-oh.
But I think one time she came to Calexico and she called me, and we chatted. But I kind of got over her eating my hamburger.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a little bit of food.
Yeah.
There's always more food in the future.
Sure.
That's how I see it. There's always more food.
But see, we met at the Eagles. We were both members. Yeah, your dad and I had some good times. Your dad.
My grandpa.
Husband.
My grandpa.
Had good times at the Eagles. We went there every Saturday night. And I also had this good friend, Irene Gleason. And when I was going to go shopping at El Centro, she lived kind of between El Centro and Calexico. I'd call her and I'd say, I'm going to go shopping, want to go? She said, oh, I don't think so. I says, be ready, I'm going to pick you up. And I did. And we'd go have lunch. But when she and her husband would be at the Eagles before your grandpa and I got there. And when we did, he always went to the bar and got Irene her famous drink. Now, if I could remember what it was. But he wouldn't bring me. I said, well, where's my drink? Oh, didn't know you wanted one. But he just automatically always got Irene her drink.
Grandpa would do that?
Yes, for her.
Well, you didn't drink that much though, did you?
No, I never have really drank. Well, I shouldn't say that, but when I was still single and a group of us girls would go out, then I'd drink. But I was usually the designated driver as to no matter whose car we went in. I can remember one time we were at this place in El Centro, and we were going back to Calexico, and I looked up and I had the red light. I thought, what the heck did I do? And it was, what was her name? She and her husband lived across from the church. I can just see her, but I can't think of her name. Anyway, she had a pickup, and I was driving her pickup, and I was trying to get the air conditioner on, and when I saw this red light, and so of course I pulled over, and I said, why did you stop me? He says, because you were weaving, and I said, well, I was trying to adjust the air conditioner, and Betty, her husband was something to do with the school.
Like a superintendent or?
Probably that.
Like one of the big higher ups for the district?
Yeah. And they were separated at that time, I think, because she had met this guy at in El Centro, and they sat in the back, the trunk of the car, when I was pulled over. And when I told him I was trying to fix the air conditioner, and I said, this isn't my pickup, this is the lady, it's in the back trunk. He says, well, let her drive. And I said, no, I would drive because I'm the designated driver. And so he said, well, just be careful.
Absolutely.
And I said, so when I said I was a designated driver, that made everything okay.
Good.
Because I had not, maybe I had one drink.
Yeah, one ain't gonna do much for you.
You know. So we got to Calexico okay. She and I were good friends, and then she finally sold her house and moved to New Mexico. Never heard any more from
her. New Mexico's way out there. You got it, Grandma?
Yes.
Okay.
I just had to get it. There. I finally got it.
There you go.
But I had lots of good friends in Calexico. Good friends in El Centro, too, because that's where I went to work as a beauty operator when we moved to Calexico. I got a job in El Centro, and then that's when I met Betty. I went to work for her because she had a beauty operator business in her house.
Oh, she had a little salon?
Yeah, well, it was the front was the salon, and then she and her, I think, what was his name now? Anyway, she and her husband lived in the back until I think they finally got a divorce. I know she had a little boy. So, and then why did I quit? Well, I guess I quit there too to move up here. No, is that it? See, there was a lot of stuff in between before moving up there. But I don't remember all of that. heard something.
Thought I heard something too. It's like a bird or something, but it's me.
I thought maybe Donna came in.
Huh, maybe. Well, Lucas is over here. He's just hanging out. Oh.
You know what was so funny though, Aaron? He came over by me, and then he went around the fire, and went over on that other side to be on the shade.
Mm-hmm. Maybe he's
He
either
didn't
in the
like
shade
the
or
sun.
right next to you.
He didn't like the sun.
Well, when you're covered in hair like he is, I'm sure it gets hot real fast.
Yes, I'm sure. I think you and your grandma, my mom, would have gotten along pretty well.
Oh, my great-grandma?
Yes, your great grandma.
Yeah?
Yeah. But
What was she like?
She was fussy with your dad, because I can remember she had a rocking chair that swirled and it rocked, and Gary would sit in it, and he'd swirl her around, and she'd get a little upset and tell him, "Don't do that, you're going to break the chair." And he always felt that my mom didn't like him, because she'd get on his case when he'd do something she didn't want him to do.
Yeah.
And to this day, she still says he hated her. She hated him.
No.
And that wasn't true, but that's the way he felt. Because he was spoiled.
Oh, my dad?
Yes.
Really?
Honest. I know your grandpa always wanted to get him a gun. And I said, no gun. Don't you get him a gun. Well, I went to Minnesota, just Gary and I, and I was talking to Greg. Greg says, "Daddy got me a gun."
He came up and told you.
Oh, I hit the ceiling. I said, "Let me talk to your dad. I told you not to get him a gun." He says, "Every boy has to have a gun." See, so what I didn't do for him, his dad did.
Yeah.
If you can believe that.
I can. I very much can. That's all right, though.
Hmm?
So was Uncle Gary spoiled, too?
Yes,
Right.
but not Greg, because Greg was my first baby.
Mm-hmm. You're the oldest.
Uh-huh. And so that's why, he got spoiled rotten. I could change him. If he went outside and he got a little dirty, I'd change his clothes. He had so many clothes, and I had 3 showers for him. I mean, they gave me 3 showers for him, so he had everything, from diapers to whatever.
My dad did?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
so there were times when I changed him 3 times a day, because I wanted him to look clean. He may only had 1 spot on his shorts, and I'd have to change him. But that's what I did to spoil him.
Yeah, just make sure he looks good.
Mm-hmm. But sometimes he'd be naughty. He'd be over at Librada's, because she had a son named Richie.
Mm-hmm.
And your dad and Richie were very good friends. And I'd call Greg, and he wouldn't come. And I'd have to go over there and get him, and I'd give him spankings all over him.
For getting dirty?
No, because he didn't come when I called him.
Oh, well,
I mean, I didn't hurt him. It's just
no,
a
I
little
know that.
pats.
I know that girl.
And then with this, what was it that he had? A horse, a hobby horse.
Mm-hmm.
He would ride that thing when he'd get up that with me. They'd go 60 miles an hour. And then it would be quiet. I'd look at him and he'd fall asleep on it.
Like it rocked him to sleep.
Yes. And he wouldn't fall off. And I'd pick him up and put him to bed. But Gary didn't like that horse. Hardly at all. He hardly ever rode it. But your dad did all the time. I don't know what I did with it. I must have given it away to somebody. Because he, all those little army men. And
Yeah, the little green plastic guys.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he had a whole box full of those. And Richie and his brother, they would come over at 8 o'clock in the morning to start wanting to play. And Michael, my husband, would say, he's still sleeping. They'd come back in another 10 minutes, he'd still be sleeping. And they were ready to play with all those, and they'd line them up and they'd go, cow, cow, cow.
Oh, they shoot at him
Mm-hmm.
with their little BB guns?
No, I probably rocked, so I don't know. He didn't have a BB gun.
Or rocks or slingshot or...
Probably could be a slingshot too. I can't remember. Oh, I can't remember every particular.
Well, of course, huh? It's a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
But you remember quite a bit.
Yeah.
Let's see, especially that den. Remember terrazzo flooring with a green couch about the color of the squares here on your blanket with a bright orange paint on the wall. That was a cool den.
I thought so, and a lot of people did too. But I can remember I just had plain old background on my stove and refrigerator, and I wanted tile behind there. Well, it was either we didn't have the money to buy the tile, or there was always something wrong for quite a while, until Michael came home, said I got the tile, and before he got the tile, I went to the store and got paper that you could just put up on the wall.
Yeah, like a contact paper or a wallpaper.
And I put it up, and when Michael came home, he said, "What in the hell did you do?" I says, "Well, you haven't put up my tile like I like it, like I want." And so we woke up in the morning and it all fallen down, all the paper. By a week later, I had my tile.
Hey, and that tile was cool looking.
Yes.
Yeah, it was all the white with the black and white checkers on it at the line, and then all those random tiles that had chickens on them.
Mm-hmm, different things on them.
That was a cool kitchen.
Mm-hmm. But then when I sold it, or I didn't, but the agent sold my house, I wonder what happened. See, when I sold my house, some man from Yuma bought it for his girlfriend. He was married, and he bought my house for his girlfriend. And so his girlfriend moved in there, and first thing he did for her was to enclose the
At the garage, the carport.
And I often wanted to go in there after that to see what it looked like, but I didn't.
Yeah, the house is not. They took out the 2 trees that are in front.
I know. You know,
So
your dad.
silly.
Your dad was an umpire for the Elks baseball team,
Mm-hmm.
and it so happened that his secretary got married the same day that the Elks was going to play. So we went to her wedding to see her wedding. And when we came back to the baseball field, I met at least 6 kids came over, and they said, Mrs. France, Greg hit a grand slam home run.
Oh,
I
that's cool.
said, you're kidding. No, and I missed it. I
Oh.
felt so bad that I had missed it. And then they also said, Mrs. France, they cut down your trees. I said, they did? Why'd they do that? And they were good for sunshine.
They were. Well, also those 2 trees in front of your house
Yeah.
in Calexico and Encanto Drive, they kept the house cool because
Of
the house was in the
course.
shade all
But
morning.
she didn't like
And
those
all
trees.
of the other trees, or all the other houses, were getting hit by the sun all morning, and it was hot.
Yeah.
So your house was always nice and cool in the summers. And then you
Well,
step out and it's, 110, but that's
Yeah.
Calexico.
I know when Auntie Dorothy came out to see me one time, and we were going to go shopping and just go from my house into the car. Of course, everything was air conditioned. And when soon as Auntie Dorothy got in the car, turn on the air conditioner.
Yeah, it's hot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's hot down there.
And I can remember when Rory and Sherry came out. Oh, it was so hot.
Mm-hmm.
And we had gone to Mexicali so they could see Mexicali. And poor Rory, you know how heavy he was. And he had kind of gone on a diet. So after that, he had gone on a diet and lost a lot of weight.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next time I saw him, he was heavy again. But he sat in a chair that was right in front of the air conditioner.
Yeah.
And he was just dripping wet.
Yep.
So he said he didn't want to go to Calexico no more. But I think they did come back one time in the winter time.
Yeah, when it's nice and cold.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever get to see it snow in Calexico?
No, but they said one time there was.
There was one year
But you
that...
could see it up in the mountains.
No, there was one year when I was down there. I was visiting Mimo and Mima for during Christmas time, and yeah, it snowed in Calexico. Not a lot, but there was just a very little bit of ice along all the yards.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very, very weird year. It was a very weird thing to see snow in the desert, but it was legitimate. It wasn't ice. It was legitimate. Very, very little spots of snow.
I know. I was told that.
Mm-hmm. Very, very rare when it happens, but it was
Yeah.
pretty cool to see.
Did I tell you the time we were going to San Diego, and we had gotten out of the car, and we said, come on, Greg, get out. He got out, and there was snow up in the mountains. He slid and he fell. He got back in the car. He would not get out of the car. He stayed in. I said, come on.
Slipped and fell and said, nope, I'm done.
We're going to, come on, Greg, we're going to go in this restaurant and eat. And he didn't want to get out until his dad forced him to get out. I mean, see, he was stubborn too,
Mm-hmm.
just like his mom.
Yep, gets it from you. Absolutely.
Everything naughty he gets from his mom. You were spoiled too.
Was I?
Yes.
Awesome. I don't remember much of that.
No, well, you were living with Donna and Greg, and I think they spoiled you. Your dad and stepmom.
A little bit.
Mm-hmm. A fly?
Yep, there's just a fly. I'll admit, they spoiled me a bit. They did buy me my first bass guitar. Made them a deal. Said I'm going to learn how to play it. Won't collect dust. And here I am. Oof. A long time later. 25 or so years. Still playing guitar.
That's good. And you're good at it.
I've learned a few things. I do all right.
Of course you have. Take the compliment that you get.
I will.
And
Thank you, Grandma.
Your grandma never lies.
No, you do not.
Sometimes I like to tell a little fib.
Absolutely. All about it. Oh, there's somebody going fast over there.
Is it a lawnmower?
No, it sounds like a car or a motorcycle.
There's a guy over here that comes and picks up stuff at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, yeah, the guy right here in the empty lot next door?
Yes.
Yeah, all his equipment, what have you. You want me to go get you a bigger hat, Grandma?
No.
Okay.
If I can just get it there. But see, it slides.
Mm-hmm.
Is this thing still on?
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Nope, it'll keep going until I turn it off. Or until the battery dies.
Oh.
Which it doesn't have a lot left, so it's okay. Just want to get every moment I can.
That's like Donna and I, when, Greg goes to bed at 9 o'clock, and we might be watching something, and so we start talking and watching, and we talk until 11 o'clock,
Mm-hmm.
and then we go to bed. I don't know what, like I told her, I said, if somebody asked me what we talked about, I couldn't tell them, because we always find something to talk about.
Because you talk about everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way it should be.
A little of this and a little of that. Yep. I love my family, Aaron.
And,
every one of them.
And your family loves you a heck of a whole lot.
And my nieces, every one of my nieces, I write to 5 or 6 of them, so I have to keep writing. I've got to start doing that. I keep saying that and I never do it.
Well, maybe tomorrow afternoon. I'll come by the, hooty-hoo.
Oh, hi.